Strange situation I ran into talking to a customer a couple days ago. He was a marketing professor, really loved to sit through presentations and get a ton of quotes from different remodeling companies. So I was one of the companies that came out there and talked to him. He had a very custom shower, very extensive project, a lot of mold issues, things like that. What it came down to in the end, though, was very interesting, is talking to him about a concept that he couldn't comprehend, and I guess I couldn't explain to him well enough for him to get. But even as a marketing professor, I thought he would understand this. Basically, in his opinion, he thought that all of us different companies should all be competing to get the lowest cost possible. And he wants to call all 6 companies he's going to have back out and do counter offers once he's talked to everybody, right? One thing he didn't want me to do was to take pictures of the quotes he's already received and to show, educate other customers in the future. I thought that was so interesting because he thought, even though we've talked about this, about each company is going to have a different way of doing things, different warranties, different installation methods, different quality of labor, right? You can even just see our reviews versus the companies he already had out's reviews, completely different, right? But at the end of the day, what he was trying to say is all the companies in his mind are the exact same, offering the exact same product, and that we should just compete to the bottom and that will be helpful for the customer. The reality is that's not the case. Think of it this way. Do you think a company, if they can, avoid it, do you think they're going to cut into their margins to reduce a cost? No. So most companies out there, even if they have their own installers, they have other subcontractors they could utilize. So there's a few ways that they could cut down on the price. They're going to chop that price down from what is they're considering retail. One is they can use cheaper products. And that isn't always the wall material that you're seeing in there or the pan, but it could be what's behind it, right? How the adhesives they're using, the waterproofing they're using, the methods they're used to, cut corners in terms of the install to make it faster, right? So that's one of them. But the biggest one is labor. So we use our own guys. One of our best guys has been doing this for 25 years, and we use him on all those custom, complicated projects because we know he's going to do it right. Now, you're also paying for someone's 25 years of experience. We are not going to do this there's no way we would ever just go and find some subcontractor who's really cheap in labor and have him do the project just so that we can give him a lower bid. And that's what most companies will do. They may have their own installers. They're going to find that one-off guy that they know will do it for next to nothing in order to not reduce their margins, but just reduce the overall project costs on labor and have a low bid. Do you think that's better for the consumer or worse? Do you think that the consumer needs to understand that there's a big difference between the two in order for them to make a well-educated decision? So I told this guy, I was like, look, at the end of the day, we're not going to be your cheapest. You can call us back and try to negotiate with us, but we're going to put in a quality project. We're going to put in something that is done professionally. If you want that, then give us a call back. If you want, companies to just compete and find whoever they can get to do it as cheap as possible for them, then that's going to be one of those other companies out there. Anyway, thought it was an interesting thing. Couldn't get this guy, even though he's a marketing professor, to really understand that it's not always advantageous to the customer if the companies are just dropping that price, right? Race to the bottom. Most expensive projects, the one you have to do twice, and you do get what you pay for when it comes to home improvements.